Hey everybody, welcome back to Spinnerrack. I'm here with my boy Cal. Say what's up, Cal.
Ready to rock. What's going on?
Oh my goodness, they've dropped the trailer for Game of Thrones House of the Dragon. Oh, we got it here. We're going to show it to you. We hope you're going to like it. We're going to stop a couple of times to point out certain things. Now, as you know, House of the Dragon, of course, is based on the story by George R.R. Martin of Dance of the Dragons and what happened to the Targaryen family and how they lost their dragons and stuff like that. So this is a great opening thing. So let's get this bad boy going. Cal, is there anything you want to talk about before we go, or what?
No, let's see what this has to offer.
All right, let's get this boy.
Gods, kings, fire, and blood.
So just so point out, see the woman we're seeing now, that's her husband, right? I'll tell you the name in a minute, but that's the husband, and that the girl we saw earlier, that was her, but a younger version of her, right? She will be one of the queens who will be, she's supposedly the rightful queen. When her father had died, before her father died, he made all the kings of West, all the lords of Westeros swear fealty to her because he had no sons. And unfortunately, he got remarried and had some kids. And this is where you have the whole Dance of the Dragons, the civil war between the dragons. But she ends up marrying her uncle. This is her uncle, the brother of the king. And he's the one helping to narrate.
Dreams didn't make us kings. Dragons did.
So just want to go back a little bit here. This is what they said the throne room looked like. You see how different it is from what we see in the old.
Make us kings.
See all the blades all around it. You know, in the book it's even higher up, but here this is a pretty interesting take on it. All the blades of all the people who want to get supposedly 10,000 blades, but hey, we know that's a bunch of crock. But
yeah, 10,000 just old world talk for more than we can count.
I like that.
Dragons did.
It's looking good. Like that means it's coming out this year. Choose your plan. So, what do you think about that, my friend?
All right. I can't say that I'm overly looking forward to this. I don't care. I really don't.
What are you talking about? This is what everybody wants. They wanted more Targaryen stuff. They wanted the dragons, and then and this is basically the fall of the House of Targaryen, because right here, this whole civil war, they're gonna, in order for the queen to regain her position, because her little brother becomes king, she has to go through. Basically, they're gonna spend their dragons just to get it. And it's going to be crazy. It's just, I am like just over the moon. And the fact that they put 2022, it means that it's coming out this year, probably the fall or the winter. It's, I'm just like, bring it on, baby. Bring it on. And it looks great. The production value looks great. Clearly, George R.R. Martin, instead of finishing his book, he's been deeply involved in this. Michael Saputnik, he's the guy who did some of the biggest episodes, The Battle of the Bastard. He is also one of the executive producers of this. So it is like, just they're throwing money on this.
Yeah, I don't care.
Oh my gosh. So look, I'm just
they took me out of Game of Thrones with that final season. The fact that this guy did Battle of the Bastards, I was like, wait a second, this is the same guy who went over here and decided to make Sansa the hero at the end because she didn't want to tell Jon that she had an army in her pocket. Not necessarily the best thing, to let me know at this point. And they got so far, put it like this, Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones was not something I was really involved in, and somebody told me it was like a more adult version of the Lord of the Rings. When I saw it, I was like, this has nothing to do with Lord of the Rings whatsoever. This is War of the Roses with some dragons. But the characterization and the stories, I was like, hey, the execution was there. I liked it. And then all they needed over time, they started bowing to, social pressure as to how the women had to be depicted. And then Martin was so busy stacking paper from the floor to the ceiling, he said, look, I'm not even going to write the end of the story. You guys take care of it. You guys have done such a good job up to this point. You write the end of the story. And these guys punked out. They decided, oh, well, let's do something different. Let's not give the people what they expect. And we got a horrible ending to something that I had invested years in watching. Now you're like, oh, hey, don't worry. We're going to give you some stuff over here that you like. Now I don't trust you. No, I trust you not. I say thee nay. So I don't care about your production values, how nice everything looks, or what your previous credits were. You did not deliver when you were supposed to. And I could not get that time and all those years back. So I'm sorry. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, don't get fooled again. To quote the great George Bush.
We got it. We got
W. Bush.
We gotta we gotta qualify that, right? Because one of the things is different is that before it was done by a different production group. Two other guys were doing the production, and they made a decision on what to be put in and what not to put in. And so the very fact now that you have someone who's more involved in it, he's read the books, he knows what it is, and he's an executive producer along with George R. R. Martin, and they want to follow the story. I mean, I think the executive producer is a guy named Ryan Condal and Miguel Sapochnik. Like I was telling you before, Miguel Sapochnik he was just a director. He just did what he was told. But now he's involved, and they want to follow the format. Of course, there's going to be this is just one story. They're going to have to elaborate on some stuff. But this one, where you're talking about the women are central to this cast. The two main protagonists are women. So
I don't care. I don't care if the women are central to the cast or not. This has nothing to do with. This has nothing to do with women being on the show. This has to do with usurping a good story because you want to keep up with whatever. You want to virtue signal for whatever's going on socially. If women are part of the show, women are part of the show. But if you're going to come over here and aggrandize the role of the women on the show more than what it was in the actual story, simply because you want to get some points, yeah, I've got an issue with that. So,
but the author,
again,
the author actually said,
I don't trust it. I just don't trust it. Okay, unless these guys got a story that they're working with, and they're going to stick to that story with whatever rhetorical flourishes they can do, because this is now a visual medium as opposed to prose. Okay, I don't trust it. You got me for 7 years. You're not getting me again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, don't get fooled again.
The problem is, a different one is that they ran out of the stuff. The way they were the previous production company, the way they were running it, they chose certain lines of stories, and so they didn't go back to those. So I mean, it's huge. If they really followed every single different story in the book, we'll probably still be like in season 2, 10 seasons in or whatever. But
that's not what I'm saying.
Hold on, let me
because you could do that with The Godfather. The Godfather was his book, and The Godfather had all these subplots going on, but there was still one main narrative that they stuck to. Now imagine they decided, hey, you know what?
But what I'm trying to tell you though is that the book was never completed by George, so they had to come. They knew what the ending was, so they had to start making things up on their own.
Oh please, they didn't know what the ending was because he never came up with the ending.
He did tell them the ending. They know what the ending.
Oh please. Yeah, I believe that. This dude was too busy. Like I said, he was too busy counting his money. He was too busy counting his money to finish this story.
They already said it. They figured out the ending, and so they knew what it was going to be. The problem was no one expected it to be the way it turned out to be, and they made it up themselves, and they were rushing to do what they wanted to do. Fine, they could have. HBO said we could take it over, and they're like, no, we're going to run it through. And unfortunately, it was a big mistake. This is different. This story is a complete beginning to end. Of course, there's stuff you can fill in the middle, but the story is complete. How it starts, how it ends. It's and so they know what's going to happen. There's no question. We know how it begins. We know what happens in the middle. We know who dies. We know what happens at the end. Can you bring in new characters? Yes. And George is more involved in this too. So, and the two people who are the main guys there. I think it's a great chance for them to redeem a story, a franchise that was lost by the previous producers. You know, the same thing that what they've done in Star Trek, where they made the Klingons look like monsters, and I'm like, you know, you have a whole segment of people who like the Klingons, and you know, you should dress up as Klingons. Now you barely see that, so I think this is a good thing. I think it's a good thing that they're going back to it.
Well, it's kind of hard to dress up as a Klingon when they decided to slap on so much when they slapped on so much you know, effect, if you will, on them on the show. You can't, one, who's gonna wear all that gook to any place, and two, you look nasty. You just look
Exactly.
nasty at the end of the day. Nobody, it's one thing with the Klingons, you look like an alien. It's something else, you're like, look, dude, you look like something that the toilet bowl threw back up at somebody. It
I know.
doesn't look good.
They didn't watch the source. Why are they humanoid? Why are they similar humanoids? You can look humanoid as a Vulcan and a Romulan, but look, we digress. That's not the point of the show. So yeah, just going back here, I think that this is a great start. The cast looks fantastic. Matt Smith, who's plays Daemon Targaryen, he is the one I was telling you about, who is the husband to his niece, and the niece herself, she is the one who will be. She's princess. One of the younger one, she's Princess. She's Princess Rhaenyra. She's the one who's supposed to become the new queen of the Iron Throne and Restores. And then you have Alison Hightower, the second wife of her father, who bears a son. And so those are two women who basically battle it out to see who's going to. She wants her son to take over. So it's going to be a very intriguing story. Like I said, the story's out there. I can get it to you if you want, but you're gonna like it. It's going to be good. So listen, if there's nothing else, if anybody likes what we see, give us a. If anybody like what we were talking about, give us a thumbs up. Comment.
Don't get fooled again.
The story is completely written. You can't go wrong. Spinnerrack
Will not be fooled again. Out.
Thank you.